With restaurants reopening outdoor dining, you may be wondering, hey, is this safe? We pull in our 7 News medical expert, Dr. Cedrek McFadden, to talk about the risk levels that are associated with doing this. So, okay, if you're out eating at a restaurant, does that increase your risk for COVID-19?
So the social nature of going out to eat may increase your risk of contracting COVID-19. Think about it. It takes time to gather. Takes time to order drinks, order food, to eat, and even to pay the bill. We found that the longer people linger in a contaminated space, the more viral particles they're likely to inhale. We've encouraged folks to wear these masks, but when you eat, you can't wear a mask.
That's true.
In addition to that, this virus itself isn't necessarily just spread with coughing and sneezing. It's when we talk, it's when we laugh, it's all the things that we do when we're having a good meal with friends.
And so when it comes to the COVID-related recommendations for restaurants, there's a whole list, a long list that the governor put out, the CDC's put out. So what do we need to be watching for to make sure that where we are dining is doing it right?
So it's a 17-page document that outlines and gives recommendations about what things can be helpful. Things like use of disposable menus, plates, utensils, and even single-use condiments. They also make recommendations about use of a sneeze guard at the registers or avoiding salad bars, buffets, or even self-serving drink stations, having their employees wear masks or cloth facial coverings, and also limiting their capacity to encourage social distancing within their restaurants.
What about inside versus outside? Is it safer to be outside? Does that make it any better?
So within confined spaces, that certainly increases risk of inhaling viruses or respiratory droplets that may be infected. Ventilation is very complex, right? Ventilation can create complex flow patterns of air that can potentially cause viruses to remain aloft in the air. Doing so can, again, increase the chance that you'll come into contact with it. So within social distancing spaces outside may reduce that risk of contracting the virus itself.
And what about the food itself? Like, can COVID be transferred in food?
So COVID cannot be transferred through foods. Unlike some viruses like hepatitis A or the norovirus, this is not a virus that's transferred directly through food. It's primarily just as a respiratory droplet that you come into contact with.
And what about the steps that we could all take to decrease any risks that we are taking when we're eating out? What can we do to kind of minimize the risk?
So take your personal risk assessment. If you're high risk, if you're a certain age or you have other comorbidities, you may want to be more restrictive about when you go out and where you go out. In addition to that, you don't want to go to a restaurant at their peakest, busiest hour. Okay, stay away from crowded restaurants. This is not the time to share food, try your neighbors' drinks, sharing utensils, staying clear of that, and also maintaining your own hygiene, washing your hands before you eat, after you eat, and just making sure that you're being protective while you're there.
Should we be going out to eat with other people? You know what I mean? Like, should we be going and meeting friends for dinner out? Are we ready for that yet, or are we still supposed to kind of be in our little group of quarantine folks?
Yeah, so we're still talking about your family members, the people that you've come into contact with during this already period of isolation and quarantine that we've been offering. But this is not the time to open up for the whole neighborhood to come out to dinner with you to have that, enjoyable meal.
It's not time yet.
It's not time yet.
All right.
Soon.
Dr. Cedrek McFadden joining us live at 5 to answer your questions. You can go to the 7 News Facebook page right now and post any medical questions you have, and we'll tackle those live at 5.
Yes.
You're watching Carolina's Family at 4. We're coming right back.